Welcome back, guys, to Sabi and Lauren. It's Sabi and Lauren here.
We're filming on the Atlas. You're fine on the bed instead of the couch because we didn't feel like setting up in the living room. Hence the change of scenery.
Plus, I'm sweating like crazy if you can't tell from
so
my kidney stone / infection. So.
Yeah, I guess we'll start with that. Lauren has a temporary nephrostomy tube. Those of you that you have been following us for a while, or if you saw the last video we put out, he ended up in the hospital due to a kidney infection and a kidney stone. And due to the severity of the kidney stone, they had to put in a temporary nephrostomy tube to relieve the pressure.
In my back left kidney.
Yeah, and so he's still working through that. We have an appointment soon to kind of figure out what the game plan with that is. But that's why he's sweating like a maniac, is because his body's still dealing with a kidney stone.
Yeah.
So that's...
And an infection. So.
Yeah. Well, the infection's gone. You finish the antibiotics. You don't have an infection anymore.
I just mentioned it because I'm sweating like crazy.
Yeah. I think you're sweating because of kidney stone because there's been a lot of sediment lately in your nephrostomy.
Yeah.
So that happened. And we also, so before that, we were in Chicago for a week.
Lollapalooza.
Yeah, we went for Lollapalooza. And it was so fun getting there. You want to tell them all about it?
So, we decided to use commercial airplane
For the first time since the accident.
For the first time since the accident, yes. And I've never been through... TSA, yeah. I was going to say TA. I knew that was wrong. I've never been through TSA, especially in a bucket, or in my bucket prosthetic.
Yeah.
And so the strip search, or not strip search, but the search dealio was different to me.
Yeah, since his wheelchair couldn't go through the, body scanner, they had to, do a body search.
They had to do a personal body search and take their little tab things for bomb residue and make sure to swipe the inside of my bucket as much as possible. Which took a little extra time. They ended up bringing me to my own side room, basically, and one-on-one did a search with me in the back room.
And then we got on the plane, and that all went really smoothly. We boarded first, and we transferred him to the aisle wheelchair for planes, and then transferred him to a seat, and it all went really smoothly.
I fell every time we travel anywhere, I fall asleep instantly.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I pretty much fell asleep instantly on the plane.
Yeah, he fell asleep instantly, and then he woke up about 2 hours in saying that his bucket felt really tight and that his pain was really bad. And neither one of us thought about the pressure change going in. And so I felt his bubbles in his bucket, and they were hard as a rock. And so they had been like that for 2 hours.
I was literally peeing blood, wasn't I? Yeah, I was peeing blood and whatnot, within, just the 2 hours. So we actually ended up, scrapping our connecting flight and actually just got a rental car in St. Paul, Minnesota.
One of the M's. I actually don't remember. St. Paul somewhere.
I think it's St. Paul, Minneapolis.
I think it's Minneapolis.
Or I don't know.
But yeah, we rented a car and drove 6.5 hours to Chicago. So we went with two friends. Well, a friend and then Lauren's other caregiver. And they continued on the connecting flights. The next one from St. Paul was to Detroit, and then Detroit to Chicago. And we rented a car from the St. Paul airport and drove to Chicago. And it was like only supposed to be like a 6.5 hour drive, but we ended up getting to Chicago like 6.5 hours in. It was like 6:30 p.m. and we were stuck in traffic for 3 hours. It took 3 hours to get 10 miles because traffic was so bad, and our hotel was downtown, which made it even worse. And so we finally got to the hotel after being in the car for like 9 hours instead of the 6 hours it was supposed to take.
And I slept.
Lauren slept the whole drive. And I was running off of 3 hours of sleep because I was up all night reading, and in my little brain I was like, well, I can just sleep on the planes. It's not like I have to drive anywhere. And I didn't get to sleep on the first ride because the turbulence was actually terrifying. I have a really, really bad fear of heights, and I'm also extremely claustrophobic. So you put me on one of those tiny little puddle jumper airplanes, and it's a shit show. And I was already like, before we even took off, I was already like trying not to throw up. And then we ended up going over some really rough air for like 20 minutes. Like your ass is bouncing in the seat turbulence, and I was having a panic attack, and Lauren was asleep.
I slept through it all.
And it was actually honestly so traumatizing that I was like, I think I had like a light fainting spell. I think I was in and out of consciousness for a moment there because there were moments where everything was blurry and hazy, and it was just a really traumatizing flight for me. And then I, because somebody slept the whole time, I was behind the wheel for 8 hours.
So she was pretty stressed when we got to the hotel.
I was exhausted and stressed.
She did not want to do anything.
And normally with hotels, like most the hotels we stay with, their parking garage is like connected to the hotel. So a lot of times when it's like after a long drive or something, and because Lauren's normally out of his bucket and he'll be laying down in the back, we honestly just put him on a baggage cart and bring him up to the room so we don't have to hassle putting the bucket on. But this parking garage was across the street from the hotel. So at this point, I'm exhausted. I've had a raging migraine for 6 hours. It started maybe an hour into the drive, didn't get any better, and I'm sleep deprived. And we park in the parking garage, and I get out of the car to get Lauren up in his bucket, and the humidity hits me, and I was just miserable, so miserable. And we got Lauren
from that moment on from the trip.
We got Lauren up in his bucket.
It was just too much.
And we leave the parking garage, and we're walking to the hotel, and I notice how terrible the sidewalks are. Like, I'm noticing all the cracks and the holes. And I'm quite literally reaching for Lauren's wheelchair in the middle of saying, "Baby, watch out for the holes." And right as I'm saying that, going to grab for him, what happens?
I end up basically slamming into one of the potholes on the sidewalk, and didn't have my seatbelt on.
No, you did have your seatbelt on.
No, I didn't.
You did. It just doesn't actually hold you in. We have to get a different seatbelt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to get a 5-point harness or 4-point harness, whatever.
Yeah.
Instead of
3-point harness.
Instead of
just a
lap seatbelt, because what it did was basically just created a bar for me to flip over, and that's what happened right in front of like 10-20 people on the sidewalk, and I'm pretty sure some people whipped out their phones. I
wouldn't be surprised. I didn't focus on the other people. I focused on you flying into the pavement.
Yeah.
But thankfully his bucket is a turtle shell, and he was fine. He had a tiny little scrape on his arm, and that's it.
Yeah.
Thankfully he like tucked and rolled, Guy,
I mean, it's not my first time falling in that. Or, yeah. Or, no, it's my second time falling in the bucket. But I've thrown myself out of beds and couches on accident before.
But yeah, he caught himself. But that was it for me. Got him back in the wheelchair. We got to the hotel room. I had a mental breakdown.
Yeah, some dudes, didn't some dude help pick me up
No,
and sort me out, or?
they were like hovering while I did it. They kept asking me if I needed help, and I just wanted everyone to get away from me so I could get us to the hotel room. But yeah, I had a little mental breakdown, and then we went to bed, and then we started Lollapalooza, and it was a really good time. I couldn't handle the Chicago humidity to save my life, so I was kind of a downer. But
I surprisingly did better.
So good.
With the humidity.
Yeah, you handled it. Like, I don't think you even sweat.
No, I did sweat.
Okay.
It was just like different type of sweat, if that makes sense. I don't know. It wasn't
like how Montana heat gets you.
Yeah.
And Lala was really fun.
I got up every single day that we were in
and
Chicago.
He made sure to make it to at least one show a day. My friend and I left kind of earlier than him most days. He kind of saved himself for the headliners each day, just because bucket tolerance and all of that. And
my favorite performance was Stray Kids.
They're the reason that we went. My buddy came out, and because obviously I'm well aware I'll probably never get tickets to Stray Kids because they literally sell out like that. But festivals are different, and so my buddy was like, hey, Stray Kids is playing at Lollapalooza, and I bought the tickets right then and there with no preparation or planning. And other than Lollapalooza, we didn't really do anything else in Chicago.
We went to the torture museum.
We went to the torture museum.
Don't ask.
It was actually really cool.
It was different for sure. Just
made me a little nauseous. I won't lie. I won't lie.
The torture stuff.
Yeah, just like the ones that had like pictures with them.
Yeah.
My brain just really envisioned that happening to a real person, and I was like, ooh, everything's a little woozy. I need to walk away so I don't throw up in the middle of this place and embarrass myself.
You walked like, okay.
Yeah,
I was wondering why you
my
kept walking
brain
off by yourself.
Kept inserting human beings into the contraption in front of me, and my imaginative insertive brain. And so I kept getting a little woozy because I just kept actually picturing it. And then I was like, hoo. And I also have a fear of throwing up in public places. So put those two together, and I had to quickly move through them and then wait for you guys at the front. It was really interesting, and I enjoyed it. But my enjoyment and all of my other things always clash. But that was cool. And we were going to do a lot more things, but the heat just honestly made me so miserable.
Yeah, we were going to do the planetarium, the humidity, really. The aquarium,
the architecture, like boat tour.
Yeah, the city
but
cruise,
yeah,
the water cruise.
But the humidity just honestly made me miserable, and I was unbearable.
Would
honestly,
you say lethargic?
In a sense, I mean, like, I think I was more tired and lethargic from 4 days of straight Lollapalooza.
Yeah.
But the humidity just made me, like, I was just ready to burn everything down. I wasn't very fun to be around the last day. We did the torture museum, and then we got lunch, and I had to hold myself back from just screaming. So we all compromised.
And my pain actually started hurting that day too, because we went and ate at Chick-fil-A, was it?
I don't remember where we ate. It's
we
all
ate
the haze to
Chick-fil-A, and by that time Sabia was done with the day, and my pain started to also affect me at that point. And so I decided to that we'd all just go back to the hotel
Yeah.
and take a rest day.
And we went back, and I slept for like 4 hours, and everyone else just kind of hung out and watched TV, and then we ordered some food.
She woke up at 7,
7
which is
p.m.
right when everything closed.
Yeah. But we ordered some food, and, you know, and then we left the next morning, and we had to, Hunter and Julie got on their flight because they still had the connecting flights back, and Lauren and I agreed that we'd drive the rental car back to St. Paul and then just deal with one more flight since it was only like 2 or 3 hours. And so we drove back to St. Paul from Chicago, and on the drive there, we were maybe like 30 miles from the city, and we were going like 65, 70-ish. It was interstate, and we're like maybe 2 car lengths behind the truck in front of us. I'm driving, listening to my music, and like we're in a little like Toyota Camry, okay?
Pretty low to the ground.
Like
car.
very low to the ground. That car was so low to the ground. And again, like 2 car lengths behind the pickup in front of us. But again, we're going like 70.
I don't have feet, but I'm sure you can feel the road.
Right, yeah. And I see the pickup in front of us just swerve a little bit. But obviously, by the time I'm able to see what he swerves, I'm there. And there's just a massive piece of tire on the road that we go broop right over.
Thank God it was laying sideways.
And we like
it was.
Lifted a little bit and bumped a little bit, like kind of jumped it a little bit pretty much. And it was really freaky.
Definitely woke me up.
Yeah, Lauren woke up and was like, what just happened? And I was like, we just ran over a blown tire. And then we stopped at a gas station. And because I'm not used to cars that are low to the ground, I never think to check the front. I always just check beneath. Because like with my truck, with my pickup, whenever I hit
the Tacoma?
Yeah, like whenever I run over something that I don't see, you know, I always immediately look underneath because the truck's so high. I don't think to look in front. And so that's what I did with the car, is I looked underneath and everything was fine. And I was like, okay, cool. Everything's fine. We get to the airport to return the car, and the guy's like walking up, and he says over the walkie-talkie that like he sees damage. And I was like, oh, did I miss something? And the front bumper was completely cracked in half.
Yeah.
But so we like.
And where it was hit and damaged, the dude was like, "You're lucky that you hit the tire where you did, because if you would have hit it any other way, you probably
would have flipped.
Would have flipped or blown the tire out of the wheel well, and you guys probably would have died."
Well, not he didn't.
He didn't say
that drastically, but he said that based on the damage and like we could have flipped if we hit it differently. But we like explained what happened and filled out like a little card, like a accident report with them.
And we luckily had the warranty. And
we had all the coverages.
That, so
like it was fine.
No big charges.
And then we got boarded, and that flight went a lot better because we knew what to expect going in. So like once we were up in the air, I immediately let pressure out of the bucket. And then, like, Lauren wasn't peeing blood by the end. And he was actually comfy the whole ride. Once again, slept through it all. And this time wasn't in extreme pain when we landed. So now we know, oh my gosh, this piece of hair.
What sucked, though, is, you know, it takes, like, 30 minutes for people to get off the plane or whatever at the end. And since I'm in a wheelchair, I have to be last to get off the plane. So I was sitting there for like 30-45 minutes without any air in my bucket whatsoever.
That was just on the flight there. On the flight back, I immediately aired you up before people even unloaded.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, because you stood up in the aisle and whatnot. But I was just mentioning that that's one of the little issues we came across
in the first
on
flight.
top of the pressure.
But yeah, the second flight we kind of knew what to expect, and it went a lot better.
Yeah.
And then we got home, and pretty much back to back had to start preparing for our next trip to Salt Lake, because we were gonna go see 21 Pilots. But then Lauren ended up in the hospital the day before we were supposed to fly out.
Yeah.
So we didn't end up going, but that's
And
okay.
that I ended up in the hospital with this kidney stone
Yeah.
/ kidney infection. In case you guys didn't know by reading our Facebook posts.
Well, we also
whatever.
talk about it in the beginning of this video.
Well, yes, I know. I'm just stating that if they haven't been paying attention to our community.
I thought you just forgot that we already mentioned it.
No.
But yeah, so we missed 21 Pilots. But our friends that still went still brought us back merch and stuff. So that was cool. And then last week, I went to Billings with some of our friends. Lauren was supposed to come, but with the nephrostomy tube, he can't get up in his prosthetic. So
my only option was to go on the wagon, and
yeah.
I really did not feel like going in a crowd concert laying in a wagon.
Yeah. So Lauren decided to stay home, but we decided I would still go. And then, but this one was just in Billings, so it was just like a 3-hour drive, you know, nothing too major. And on the way to Billings, one of my friends that was coming up with us was informed because we were going for Hosier, and her friend texted her and was like, oh, his show got like postponed because he's sick like 2 hours ago. But by then it was too late to cancel the hotel. So like we all rendezvoused. We literally had just left town. Like we weren't even to Built yet, which is only like 20 miles outside of town, when we got the news. So I called my cousin, who was like probably 20 miles ahead of us, just past Belt. And I was like, hey, meet us in Belt. Hosier got postponed. So she turned around and we rendezvoused in Belt. And then I was like, well, you know, the concert isn't happening, but it's too late to refund the hotel. So regardless, I'm going to Billings still for these 3 days so that it's not a waste of my money. And then they all decided, like, we'll all just go and still have a good time. And we did. We had a really good time. We went to an art museum, and we all got matching tattoos because that's just something I like to do. Probably 80% of my tattoos are matching tattoos that I'm like, oh my gosh, we're doing something fun. Let's get matching tattoos. So we all got matching tattoos, and it was a really good time. I had a lot of fun. I got to, one of my best friends that lives in Missoula was with me, and I don't get to see her very often. And I haven't gotten to spend time with my other friend who's her sister in years, honestly. Since like college, I haven't really gotten to spend time with her, and so it was nice to have some really good quality time with them in Billings, even though we weren't able to go to the concert. So it was still worth it for me. And we got home like a couple days ago, and now we're here. And then we have a few little things planned. So if you can't tell by now, unfortunately, did not get any footage in Chicago. It was such a cluster.
I mean, we did, but not any footage that we can use because it all has music in it by artists.
No, we didn't get any footage at Lollapalooza.
Oh.
We also just barely got any footage in Chicago. We took like 2 videos the first day we got there.
I was talking about the videos that Hunter took.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't counting those. Because he didn't take those for us.
Yeah. Well, I remember asking him to take videos for us.
But yeah, so obviously we couldn't film or share anything from Lala on YouTube because then we'd get copyrighted for the music. And then outside of Lala, we just didn't remember to film, honestly. It was like a really fun yet stressful trip, which is why we just kind of word vomited the whole thing to you guys. But we do have some things coming up that will be filmed. We're planning on making a trip to Helena to do some fun stuff there. I won't say anything because spoilers. And then we're
gonna make a trip to Wilsall, which those of you that don't know, Wilsall is the town / area of where my accident occurred. We're basically just gonna drive down there and
kind of show you
down memory lane.
Yeah, show you the area and kind of, you know, just kind of where yeah.
Show you guys my living situation. what I used to do, like where I used to go
Yeah.
in that town, what I
We'll
used to
see
do.
what the video turns into. We don't really have much plans for it other than going there and seeing where that goes. So that's something to look forward to. And then
See what memories pop up in my
Yeah.
head and what I have to say, what I feel,
Yeah.
and all that.
And then we have 2 more
And
trips.
those of you that are gonna ask, I feel perfectly fine about it.
And then we have 2 more trips coming up, which hopefully Lauren's nephrostomy is out by then. I'm sure it'll be out by Billie Eilish in December. I don't see it staying in for that long. I don't know if it'll be out by Sleeping with Sirens in October, but we'll see and hope and cross our fingers. But regardless, I'm not missing that one.
No, I don't expect you to.
I know. But yeah, other than that, sorry that this one was just kind of word vomit of what we've been doing because we never think to film in the moment. We're trying to get better at that.
I'm gonna get a stand for my chair and get the GoPro hooked onto my chair so I can start filming from my POV for you guys, because I know the one video that we did like that you guys
did
loved.
really like that.
So I will make sure to get it done by the next video or the video after that. No promises, but
eventually it will happen.
Yes.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything we had to update you guys on.
Is it?
Yeah. The Will Saw video, if so, crossing our fingers, we're able to get it done. Again, a lot of that I think relies on if Lauren's nephrostomy tube gets out in time.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, then maybe we'll still go and just stay in the car. We'll see how it goes.
I'd like to do it sitting up though.
Yeah.
So
not making any promises on whether that will be our next video or the one after that. It really does just rely on when Lauren's nephrostomy tube comes out, because until it's out, he can't get up in his prosthetic, which kind of leaves us anchored a little bit.
So yeah, that's about all we have to talk about, I think. I can't think of anything else.
I can't either.
But hello.
But
Ace has joined us.
We'll see you guys in 3 weeks for our live, because we'll still go live on the 3rd of this month, or the 3rd Sunday of this month, I should say, and then we'll have a video out next month as well. Again, hopefully it'll be the Will Saw video, but again, that all depends on Lauren. So, well, not on him, but
nephrostomy
on the
/ kidney
situation.
stone. Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll see you guys next time.
Make sure to tune in. Make sure to check out our past lives and past videos. Lives are on their own separate page. Playlist mix. Yeah.
Yeah, on our channel. It's really simple to find them if you want to see them.
Yep, but if you haven't watched our lives, make sure to, because that's where you get most of the answers to questions.
It's mostly just us blabbering a lot.
Yeah, but it was nice to update you guys again and to talk with you guys, and we hope you guys enjoyed the update and that you guys like, subscribe, and share with your family and friends.
I'll see you next time.
Love and appreciate you guys. Have a good one.